Hey guys, I keep getting asked about Japanese money, and I keep getting asked to do more how-to videos, how to do stuff in Japan. So here's a how-to do video about money. Japanese money, if you want to know what it's worth, which is probably the most common question I get asked, search currency converter on Google, and you can find some converters where you just enter whatever currency your country uses. So you say $1 and it'll tell you how many yen you get for it, or whatever currency you happen to use, euro or whatever. For the purposes of this, I'll just give you a rough idea in dollars, but it's really rough and it changes every day. So use the currency converter if you want to know what they're really worth. But Japanese money, smallest one is the 1 yen, which is worth about 1 cent. The next one up is the 5 yen, which is worth about 5 cents. Next one up is a 10, which I don't actually have, but it's a copper coloured one, about the same size as this, is 10 yen. Then it goes to 50, which I just realised I don't have either. It's a silver one, pretty useless. Silver one that's sort of a version of this, but it's silver, 50 yen. Then it jumps to 100 yen, which of course is about $1. For a 100 yen coin. These ones really good for vending machines, things like that. Then it goes to the 500 yen coin, which is about $5. Then it goes to the notes. Japanese notes, they're still made of paper. Some countries have got them made out of plastic now, but they're still made of paper. And they're actually quite beautiful. The artwork on them is quite impressive. So there's 1,000 yen, which of course is about $10. Quite beautiful close up. Next one up is a 2,000 yen. Now these are pretty rare. I'm not quite sure what the story is with these. I've been told that they only made them in the year 2000. I'm not sure if that's true or if they're still making them, because this one's pretty new. But they're rare. You don't see them very often. You don't usually get given them as change, not usually. So yeah, they're not real common, but they obviously exist. Here's one. So 2,000 yen note, which is worth about $20. Then it goes to the 5,000 yen note. Once again, the artwork on them's pretty good. They've got the security features lots of modern countries have now, with the watermark, so you can see that they're real. Then it goes up to the 10,000 yen. So 10,000 yen, of course, is about $100. But interestingly, in English, our counters, our units of counting are 1, 10, 100, 1,000, and then it goes to a million. So you'll have, 10,000, 10,500, 100,000, 150,500, and that sort of thing. They have a unit counter for 10,000, which is man, and this can actually be quite difficult for people at first in Japan. In Japan, because they'll talk about ichiman, 1 man, which is 10,000. And it's not just for money, it's for everything. So if they have, for example, 15,000, they'll say ichiman gosen, which is 1 10,000, 5,000. And it does take a bit to get your head around it, and to convert it into your own money if you do that. Once you've lived here a while, you don't bother converting it into your own money, because this is your own money. But if you're only here for a short time, when you look at how much something is, you'll tend to try and convert it into your own money. It can do your head in, because the ichiman thing, the 1 10,000 thing, is quite confusing. So yeah, there's the ichiman. So that's the currency itself. As far as handling money in Japan, there's a few things that are good to know. One is, in Western culture, we tend to just treat money like money, and it's, hey Bob, here's that 100 I owe you, and we just sort of hand it over. They tend to be pretty discreet with money. So, for example, they often, if they have to give you money, often it's in an envelope. So yeah, we don't just sort of hand it over, and it's quite embarrassing for them if you hand over cash. If you come time to pay at the cash register and you're sort of saying, here, take my money, it's a bit sort of a bit uncivilized. So it's good to be sort of discreet with cash. Same as handing it over at cash registers and things. They usually have a little tray, and you just put your money down in the tray, and they take it and put it through the register and then put your change back in a little tray and you pick it up. That's usually the case. Occasionally they don't have the little tray, and in which case they'll just take the money from you, and then when they hand you your change, they usually put their hand under your hand and then put the money into your hand. Partly because it's more civilized, partly because if you drop it they'll catch it. So yeah, it's just a little bit more, you know, when they hand over money it's sort of like this, not at cash registers, but you know, if they owe you money it's in an envelope and it's here you are. And so money, best thing, like with all the stuff in Japan, and like I've said 100 times before, the best thing with anything in Japan is to watch what the Japanese people do. Rather than learn it from other foreigners like me, it's better to actually watch what they do, and you'll see what I mean. They just tend to be a little bit more civilized, maybe, I don't know if that's the right word, but just when they handle money it tends to be a little bit more civilized. So yeah, there's a few tips on the money in Japan. And while we're on the subject of shops and registers and handing over money too, there's no tipping in Japan. They just don't do it. I mean, I have asked a few of my Japanese friends about this, because I suggested one time that it was insulting. I said on one of my videos that it was insulting to tip, and a couple of people debated it. So I did ask some Japanese friends and just said, you know, is it true that it's a little bit insulting? And because they're a bit hesitant to admit things like that, but it is true. It's because Japanese people take a lot of pride in their work, so slipping them $1, you know, or a tip for doing their job is a little bit unusual for them, so they won't accept tips. So if you try and say keep the change, they'll chase you out of the shop to give it back to you, because it's just not what they do. So yeah, just don't bother tipping in Japan, because it's not part of their culture. So anyway, there was some stuff on money. So I look forward to the next how-to video. See you later.